What's that little squirrel out there? I see you, little squirrel. Don't you try to be sneaky out there. I see that little squirrel. Hey kids, hey, it's another time for another fun-filled, emotional learning episode of the Uncle fucking whatever you call me show. It doesn't matter. They call me, hey kids, they call me Uncle fucking Robot Ninja Turtle. You can't call me that. That's a trademark name, and I can't go by that. I've been told that. I've been served numerous legal notices of what I can and can't call myself. I can call myself fucking Uncle Cockroach McGee. That hasn't been taken. But I don't call myself that. You can call me whatever the fuck. I don't. This is a free-form nihilist show about anarchy, kids. Yeah, those are words we all like. Fucking cool shit like that. So what are we talking about today, kids? Today on this educational program, we're going to talk about an intellectual phenomenon. We're going to talk about a phenomenon of the mind. Phenomenon. Déjà Vu. We already do an episode about this. Déjà vu. That's a phenomenon of the mind, kids. That's something that it's a thing that goes on and nobody knows what it is. Déjà vu is when you feel like you've already seen something happen. You feel like something's happening a second time. And there's a lot of different ways that people interpret it, and there's a lot of different explanations people have for it. And sometimes when you hear people describing what they think déjà vu is, because it's a mental perception thing, it starts to sound like you don't necessarily know if people are talking about the same thing. Like, I don't know if what I call déjà vu, like, say in the movie The Matrix. In the movie The Matrix, Keanu Reeves, Neo, the main character, the protagonist, he experiences a moment of déjà vu where he's going up a set of stairs and he looks down a hall and he sees a cat go by and it sort of shakes itself off and goes meow and then walks away. And he looks, and then he looks back and he sees the same cat. And it walks through the hall and goes, meow, and shakes itself off and runs away. And he's like, whoa, déjà vu. Now, I've never experienced déjà vu like that. I've experienced what I consider to be déjà vu numerous times throughout my life. I don't know what it means. I don't know if it means anything at all. We'll get into that. But when I experience déjà vu, it often is accompanied with the idea that I remember dreaming about the moment before. It's not that the moment happened just a second before. It's often more a feeling of like something will happen and I'll be like, hey, didn't I have a dream about that like 2 weeks ago or a month ago or like 25 years ago? And I'll remember waking up from the dream and having this imagery in my head and not really knowing what to do with it. And I feel like I've had these experiences where like I've had a dream where I was just like, oh, I was sitting on a couch with a couple of dudes and we were watching TV. It's like fucking nothing. But I didn't know they had names I didn't recognize, and I didn't recognize the space we were in. And that's a dream that I had when I was like 12 years old, and I told my mom about it. And then one day I looked around the room that I'd been hanging out in for months with a couple of friends I'd been hanging out with for months, and all of a sudden I was like, whoa, I just got déjà vu of this exact moment. And it's that weird thing where it's like, well, the three of us have sat in this room and watched TV numerous times, so like that's not new or unusual. Like, so why was it this moment? Why was it this one? And it always will be specifically that. Do you kids get déjà vu? Have you ever experienced anything that you would consider déjà vu? If so, fucking write down your answer and mail it into the show. If a bunch of you fucking have experienced déjà vu and have thoughts about it, maybe I'll do a follow-up episode and I'll bring up your points and we'll discuss the things that you wanted to talk about. Because it's all about you. It's all about what's most important to you. I truly do believe that, though. I do think it's all about you. I think we all exist in our heads, kids. That's and how do you know? How do you know anything outside of your head exists? You know, specifically when you're dreaming. When you're dreaming, everything seems so real. Like when you're dreaming, you're in a city, and the city has 1 million people in it, and maybe there's a cartoon wolf that's chasing you, and fucking UFOs in the sky. All of those things are just you. You are those things. Like when you wake up, they all disappear. So like, how do you know reality isn't something that's going to disappear when everybody wakes up? Like, reality is just like, there's layers of reality. There's types of reality. You know, like, when I play a video game, that almost seems to create a little subset of a tiny little fractal reality within our reality. Like it's this little place that has its own rules, it's its own little universe, and the characters don't really have free will. They just kind of run around doing shit. But everybody always says, do we really have free will, or do we just run around doing shit? We're fucking just a running around doing shit species, just hoping for the fucking best. Déjà vu. Didn't we already talk about this? So what is déjà vu? There's a lot of theories on that. A lot of people think it's the most buttoned down theory on it all is that it's sometimes the brain replicates the feeling of remembering something twice. Like, man, this is all that fucking Matrix brain in a jar bullshit, where like if a brain thinks a thing, that thing is just as real as a real thing to the brain, and the brain is just a perception unit. So like if you perceive a thing, that's the same as that thing being a thing. Hold on, this is getting stupid. Let's just track it back here a little bit. Déjà vu. What is déjà vu? Some people think that when you get déjà vu, it's just like a little hiccup in your mind, that your mind tells you that you think you remember this thing happening. But here's the thing, man, like, I could be wrong, I worry about my own brain all the time, kids, like, I smoke a lot of weed, and I've done a lot of acid. I've done hundreds of hits of acid, numerous times. Not like numerous times that I do 100 hit of acid. I generally, it's not what this conversation is about, kids, but I'm just saying, like, my own brain, I've put it through some shit, I haven't just left it alone. It's not going back in its factory condition. We took it out of the box and we played with it. I'm not going to get a full refund on this brain. So, like, I personally, what my experience with déjà vu is that I'll wake up from a dream. I'll wake up from a sleep, and I'll still have some dream just kind of bubbling around inside my brain. I'll have some imagery, and it won't make any sense to me. This happened a lot to me when I was a kid, I was always just fucking like dreaming of stuff that didn't make any sense. But then at some point, it's like I've seen a puzzle piece without seeing the rest of the puzzle, and then life forms in the rest of the puzzle, and for a split second, that puzzle piece will make sense. All of a sudden, it'll be of like, oh my god, like that dream where I was hanging out with two strangers in a strange place watching TV, that was me hanging out with my two buddies who I wouldn't meet for another fucking 20 years. That's why I didn't know them when I was a little kid and having that dream. Now, if that's true, that's some interesting shit. Again, maybe I'm just misremembering things. Maybe I choose to make my memories sound more epic and grandiose, that I can feel special and I can feel like maybe I have cool psychic powers. Because Lord knows, kids, I wish I had cool psychic powers, man. I wish that all my fucking life. I wished I was special. I read those like fucking magical ninja comics and superhero comics and shit like that, man. I used to wish that I was somebody remarkable too. And here I am, kids. Here I am on the Uncle fucking What a Remarkable Dude show, where you fucking tune in to hear me explain how fucking wonderful the potential of life can be. So, what do I think? What do I think? Well, here's a crazy thing, kids. Déjà vu. Bear with me here. We're gonna go deep into this one, okay? Sometimes you think about what a human being looks like outside of time. We exist in three physical dimensions. We have length, depth, width, breadth. I don't know where one of those words means the other. I just listed four things. But like you're tall and you're heavy and you're thick, you're dense. You got physical substance. But we also exist in time. And if you stepped out of time and you saw your entire life all happening all at once, you would see like your body would become what we are as segments of a giant worm, and like one tip of the worm is the thing that happens. It comes into existence when you're born, or theoretically, but before that, like it's all these little worms would be tied together so that you come out of your mom and she comes out of her mom and she comes out of her mom, all the way back to like fucking cells, the original building blocks of life, little amino acids splitting up and coming together. Anyway, if you see yourself outside of yourself, you would see that. That's what you would see. And it wouldn't even be all happening like, I walk up and down the same set of stairs every day, but if you saw my entire life outside of time, you wouldn't see me going up and down the same steps every day, because the planet is rotating around the sun, and the sun is part of a galaxy that's rotating and moving across the universe. So we're never in the same place twice. We're always moving. There's always a different place that we are, even when we're in the same place. So if we are this thing, like if that's our true existence, and we're only seeing little tiny parts of ourselves, whereas how we exist is in this long chain of existence, then maybe sometimes when we're unconscious, when we're asleep and the unconscious mind is rattling around and doing its thing, then maybe we can see glimpses up and down our own timeline. And like, that's why we remember some things when we dream. And that's why we see, we can see into the future. We're not seeing, like, we're not looking into the future, but we're having future memories, because when you're outside of time, your brain, the past and future, they're just like left and right, essentially. You could just reach into these things, and this imagery could come filtering back to us through layers of our own memories. Does that make sense? I feel like you're digging what I'm putting down. I feel like you're following what I'm saying, right? Like, I'm talking about, so like, maybe déjà vu is evidence of a sort of larger cosmic mindset, It's one of those things. It's not like you can change the future. It's not like, oh my God, I had a dream that there was going to be a plane crash and I didn't get on that plane. I'm sure that happens all the time to people, I'm sure there are lots of people, and like, it's natural, like a lot of people, before they get on a plane, they're going to be anxious and they're going to have a dream or a nightmare about the plane crashing. And then a number, again, statistically, every once in a while, somebody has to have one of those dreams, and then the plane does crash. And statistically, again, like, let's say one in a million people, let's say 1 in 100 people. No, let's not talk about numbers, kids. I'm getting all screwed up here. I'm just saying, proportionately, eventually you're going to have one person who was going to get on a plane, had a bad dream, decided to not get on the plane, and then the plane crashed, and then that person's going to be like, oh my God, man. Oh my God, my dream. People think their dreams aren't nothing, but my dreams fucking saved my life, man. I saw into the future. I saw fucking crazy shit, and I fucking changed it. And now I'm like a what was that movie? Paranormal fucking Intention, or whatever the fuck it was, man. The one where the final examination. Fucking remember that thing where there was that alien autopsy video? That was fucking crazy. We used to send away for shit like that, for fucking crazy videotapes about dead aliens getting cut up and the truth. You want to learn the truth? Well, today, kids, we're talking about the truth about déjà vu. Didn't we already do this episode? I'm positive. Anyway, déjà vu. Is it just a thing that happens in people's brains? Like, everything's just a thing that happens in your brain, man, technically. Like, you're just hearing this show in your brain. You're just fucking perceiving reality in your brain. You don't know that anything's real outside of that, and I don't think we should. I think it's a mistake to think that we understand reality in a cohesive way, man. Like, you don't know. You don't know what's going on out there. You think you do. You want to. You want to feel good and feel like you understand stuff. Man, that little dog outside, man, she's a barker. She loves barking about stuff. She got to tell the whole fucking universe. And this is my show where I tell the whole universe about my thoughts about everything. That was my thoughts about déjà vu, kids. So thank you so much for listening and learning and thinking and breathing and just being a part of the cool time, having fun show. Now, I gotta get some rest, so get the fuck out of here, kids, and have yourselves a wonderful fucking day. Yeah.
Excelsior.